Good morning. Good morning. We are about to begin. So if everyone could just get situated where they're going to be situated. All right. Good morning, Bronx. How are y'all doing today? Yes! You got to feel excited today. We are standing in what is going to be the future of the Hip Hop Museum, and we are part of history. We are making it happen. We are there from the very beginning and the ground up to make this incredible project a reality for the Bronx and all of New York City, but most importantly, the world. This is going to be an opportunity to showcase our history and our culture, but for so many of us, this is a cultural art form that we all participated in creating. And how wonderful is that we're going to be able to share this gift with the world. Now, I'm so excited to be your commissioner right now because this is such a groundbreaking history experience that we are all here for. That's right, right? Hip-hop is an art form born right here in the Bronx. Did I just say that being from Brooklyn? But that's what the talking points say. That's what the talking points said. I'm going to leave it right there because that's what they wrote and that's probably what's politically correct. And I don't want to start another war or another beef by talking about where hip-hop really originated, was birthed, and grew. So we'll say it's from the Bronx today. But I am so proud today. This is incredible. Today is so phenomenal because we are recognizing the incredible, tremendous talent and creativity here in the Bronx. Mayor Eric Adams made a campaign promise that he was going to uplift the Bronx. And in a time when we are going through the greatest financial crises of all times, everyone knows that in past administrations, when the going gets tough, when budgets get tough, the arts are always the first to go. But Mayor Eric Adams said, I don't want to do that. I don't want to cut the arts and cultural budgets. I don't want to keep them the same. I want to deliver the largest cultural budget in New York City's history, delivering $220 million in capital and $237 million in expense funds for the city of New York, the largest budget in the country, including the National Endowment for the Arts. So this mayor gets it. And he recognizes it. And he understands, most importantly, that when we deliver art and culture to our youth and our young people, we are also delivering the greatest safety plan of public safety in the city of New York. When we can take a gun out of the hands of a child and put an instrument or a paintbrush or a DJ mixing table or a video camera like Ralph McDaniel's, we are saving our young people, giving them their full potential and allowing them to explore their talents. So that's what this institution is about today and all the tremendous organizations that are here today. We have delivered a record-breaking amount of funding to the Bronx Museum of the Arts. Give it up for the Bronx Museum of the Arts. The New York Botanical Garden, the Point Community Development Corporation, Pregones Puerto Rican Traveling Theater, Wave Hill, and we all know the Bronx Zoo. So we are making sure that we bring resources to every part of this city, but particularly communities like the Bronx that have been underserved and under-resourced for so long. We are righting those wrongs in this administration. At this time, I want to bring up the man of the hour who is making sure that we bring this museum to fruition. And through this project, the Universal Museum, with the support of our borough presidents, our city council, our mayor, have delivered $19.8 million to the Hip Hop Museum because we are taxpayers and we deserve it. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mayor Eric Adams!
Can we do something, because a moment is a snapshot in time. And if the snapshot that we're doing right now is not really reflective of who was part of this, then history is not going to be accurate. We need all of these artists, all the people who did it. You need to be standing up here and being part of this photo. You need to come on up and being part of this photo. You know, all those who played the role, you know, all those who have been on it, they need to, the picture,
Oh, you're too tall. You stand right
should, yeah, just come, because this is the picture that people need to see. You know, we are just the facilitators of using your assets to fulfill the dream and mission. And there's a subtext to this that I think sometimes people don't realize, and you know, we miss the moment. Imagine you had a hip-hop raised borough president in Ruben Diaz, who had a vision and utilized, as being one of the youngest legislators in New York State's history. He brought that hip-hop spirit and energy and fearlessness to Albany to fight on important issues that was the voice of the hip-hop community. And he planted the seeds. And now we're watching this seed continue to grow when you have a borough president like Vanessa Gibson, who's stating we don't have to destroy what was planted. We're going to water it and nurture it and have it continue to grow. And so we need to understand what this moment is about. And then you have a mayor who grew up listening to hip hop, the music in the park, watching you know, those early pioneers of, you know, DJ Ralph McDaniels, running home to look at Video Music Box. You know, this moment is so significant. What many of you have done, Russell and Fat Joe and all of you, you know, you planted this seed in us. You know, you planted who I am as a person is what I received from these artists. These artists gave me this energy. So when you see me moving in this level of confidence as a mayor, because I watch them with a level of confidence as they perform. And they stated that you don't have to become who you are to take the city to where it ought to be. Let's not try to rewrite history and say that the tracks of these artists were always part of movie tracks. You could not have a movie track that was made from these artists. It was not acceptable. Now you can't find a movie that doesn't have hip-hop music that's part of it. You go to the sports arenas, you couldn't have rap or hip-hop as part of the intermission. You could not have had what you saw at the Super Bowl halftime if it wasn't for the boldness of these artists. They were demonized. And then there's the history of the demonization of black and brown music. So it's not only hip hop, they demonize jazz, they demonize blues, they demonize gospel. There's always been this demonization of black and brown music, but our stance and popularity and strength of saying we're gonna be who we are. So these hip-hop artists, what you did is you borrowed from Miles Davis, from Charlie Parker, from Coltrane. You borrowed from B.B. King. This is who we are. And then James Brown, you know, they used to not allow James Brown and Ray Charles to perform in certain locations. So there's a long history here. The disconnect was that the music was alone and the politicians were alone, and we had to come together and realize we are the same.
That's right.
You gave us this. And so now the productivity of what you gave is producing the museum inside on these 2 floors, but producing the housing as well. Don't disconnect this moment.
That's right.
First time in New York City history, we have a hip-hop mayor. Dyslexic, arrested, rejected, now I'm elected. Pause. Man, they don't know what they did. And we're producing a product. Look at these lawmakers that are here. Folks don't want to see this. They don't want to see the comfortability of us sitting down, talking to each other, and say, how do we produce a product that is not going to demonize another generation? Do you know how much power we have right now?
That's right. Speak on it.
Black AG, black PA, black leader of the Assembly, black leader of the Senate, a black of the leader of the Congressional Caucus in New York. All of this chocolate. We better do something with it. You know what I'm saying? We can do this. And so this museum is our Trojan horse. We just want to get on the inside. We're on the inside now. We have the power now where we can use the experience of these men and women here to reform how we use music to educate our children. To not only build this project, to make sure the young people on this project don't have a steel gun, but a steel hammer, so they can be part of the construction.
That's right.
We can use this moment so that if we want to really end homelessness, like Sharon Zabarin has been saying, let's build projects like this. Not only rental, but turn them into condominium so we have home ownership and not have to worry about being displaced when we build up communities and people want to throw us out.
That's right.
It's a bold moment. It's a bold moment. But we can't do it alone. We got to do it with the partnerships. That's what we're saying today. I'm saying to my brothers and sisters in the industry, we want to be your partners. You laid the blueprint that we are following.
That's right.
Too many of us have been singing off key. Now we have to have a universal rap that we all have to say together. So this is only the beginning. And I'm proud to be the mayor at this time, the mayor at this time. Thank God Bill de Blasio didn't open this museum. You know, and no hit on him. But this is my museum that I should be opening.
That's right.
It's my museum.
That's right.
You know, this is the museum that I'm supposed to be opening, that Vanessa's supposed to be opening, that our assemblywomen and senators are supposed to be open. We're supposed to be on this rooftop, on this terrace, opening this museum, continuing the progress of a young man who jumped on mattresses in a broken lot in the Bronx that everyone wrote off and turned those lots into housing and had the vision here and now transformed that vision to our new borough president and our new assembly persons, our new senators. This is a continuation that we must do. If we want to see the progress that we deserve, we have to start not anew every time, but to continue the pathway.
Right.
Let me conclude with this. Nat Turner ran his mile. He turned it over to Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey ran his mile. He turned it over to Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks ran her mile and turned it over to Jesse Jackson, who turned his mile over to Reverend Sharpton, who turned his mile over to Barack Obama. Barack Obama ran his mile and turned it over to Vice President Harris. It's the continuation of this marathon of our success from the days of being on the plantation that Nat Turner fought to overturn. We are now finally saying to ourselves, we're not going to be on anyone's plantation on any level ever again in our life. Let's run our mile so that we can be as proud as they've been when they ran their mile. Thank you for everyone that participated in this.
Well, I think, yeah, I have a few.
Okay.
Very
Okay.
brief.
Wow. All right. I'm right in the middle. Let's go. Thank you. Thank you. Talk about God directs your path and directs your footsteps. I knew we had to be here in the Bronx today, and I knew we had to have who we have here today. As our Mayor Eric Adams has said, hip-hop has made each and every one of us. And this political dynamic that you're seeing would not have happened without the boldness of the hip-hop music and community coming forward and showing us what is so possible. They created a soundtrack of inspiration that we listen to every single day to fight those hard battles that we have to go through each and every day. I'm going to bring forward at this time an incredible and dynamic woman who I had the honor of serving with in the City Council, but before that, she was in the New York State Assembly. And now, I am so proud because when we were in the City Council, you know how you kind of have a little competition when a dynamic woman meets another dynamic woman and you're trying to figure out who's going to be the most dynamic woman? But this sister is brilliant. She is one of the smartest people that I know. She is creative, but even more than that, she's the hardest working woman that I know. I look on her Facebook and social media account and get tired of looking at all the things that she's doing. But she is committed to the Bronx, and she is committed to carrying that baton from our previous borough president, Ruben Diaz Jr., and taking it the next mile. It's not a competition here. It's a race where we are passing the batons of leadership to continue the legacy of one another. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the borough president, Vanessa Gibson.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, brothers and sisters, hip-hop pioneers, hip-hop trailblazers, brothers and sisters, my colleagues in government. What an important day for the Bronx and the city of New York. I am so grateful and excited to stand before you as number 14, the 14th Bronx Borough President, but the first African-American and female elected Bronx Borough President. What an honor. What an honor and what a privilege. And I stand here as a product of my ancestors' dreams, of all of their hopes and all of their aspirations, standing on their very broad shoulders, being a part of this historic, incredible announcement today and a part of the history of the Bronx and the city of New York. As we climb the ladder, we have to lift others with us. And so we are standing here recommitted to each other, making sure that we create access and opportunity for the next generation of leaders. So how important it is today that we are here at the future home of the Universal Hip Hop Museum in the borough of El Bronx. Making sure that we talk about the historic capital investments that this administration, under the leadership of our hip-hop mayor, Eric Adams. That's right. I know, just like me, Eric, we got to spit some bars. I'm just saying. We got to keep up with number 13, Ruben Diaz Jr. But what an incredible honor. Mayor Eric Adams and our DCLA commissioner, my sister and former colleague, Commissioner Lori Cumbo, and really everyone at DCLA and the administration. When you talk about investing in our arts and culture and the intersection of education, we are talking about creating economic opportunity, building stability, creating access for our young people, making sure that we talk about alternatives to incarceration, but being the catalyst of a beacon of hope and opportunity for the next generation of leaders. Our cultural institutions, and of course I have to shout them out, Universal Hip Hop Museum, the Bronx Museum of the Arts, the Wildlife Conservation Society. Thank you, John Cavelli, who's here on behalf of the Bronx Zoo. We also know that we have the historic Botanical Gardens, Wave Hill, Mind Builders, Pregones Theater, all of our incredible cultural organizations that are also called SIGs have been a part of economic opportunity, creating jobs for young people during the summer. Thousands of summer youth applicants are working at the Bronx Zoo and the Botanical Gardens and the Bronx Museum, and we appreciate that. And we know that while we invest over $200 million in capital, guess what? We have to match it with expense dollars, because that's how you have programs, you have art teachers, you have artists, you have designers, you have all of the components that keep our young people involved. And so I am so grateful for Mayor Adams and Commissioner Cumbo and the entire administration that not just talk about it, but they are about it. They talk the talk and they walk the walk. They make sure that they invest money where their commitment is. Because at the end of the day, the budgets that we pass are a reflection of our values, of our principles. It is the blueprint for a better tomorrow for our residents and our families. And so I want to congratulate the entire cultural industry, because many of them advocated to city council members, to the mayor, to the commissioner, and said, don't forget culture, don't forget arts, don't forget all of the important components that we know matter to our children. That is the answer to addressing public safety. That is the answer to economic stability. That is the answer to generational wealth. When you invest in our children, we are investing in our future. And I am so grateful to stand here with all of my colleagues in government who are joining with me, as well as all of our hip-hop artists. Because yes, Commissioner Cumbo, hip-hop started in the Bronx, August 11th, 1973, 1520 Sedgwick Avenue, which is now called Hip Hop Boulevard, right? Ruben Diaz Jr., Hip Hop Boulevard. So those are just facts, y'all. Those are just facts. And this year is the 49th anniversary of hip hop. And next year will be the 50th anniversary. And I can't wait for us to recognize the 50th anniversary, but equally as important, I cannot wait to open the doors of the first ever Universal Hip Hop Museum right here in our borough. And so millions of dollars have been poured into this project because it is truly a labor of love. We've been working closely with Universal Hip Hop Museum, and of course, we have to shout out our executive director, Rocky Bucano. Thank you, Rocky. Rocky is the man. Yes, so Rocky is the man, Rocky and his team, who have been diligently working here every single day to make sure that this is a project that we will all be proud of. But think about the global destination that this site is going to be, not just for the Bronx and the city and the state, but for the world. Hip-hop artists that have created that access and opportunity for up-and-coming artists. Guess what? All of our young people that are rappers and artists today can look at these pioneers and see themselves. They can realize that their circumstance doesn't determine their future, nor does their block their blessing. That's what this work is all about. We are investing in the next generation. And so, Speaker Carl Hastie, Ruben Diaz Jr., number 13, all of the elected officials, state assembly members, state senators, your borough president, we invested $2 million towards this project in this adopted budget because we want to make sure that we are doing our part. I can't allow all my colleagues to give money and I don't contribute too. And so I just want to say thank you to everyone, to our partners at our cultural organizations, to Universal Hip Hop Museum, to all of our pioneers and trailblazers. Thank you for never giving up. Despite the odds, we have shown what it means when black and brown people get together with made-up minds, with a blueprint, principles, and a vision, and we will never give up. And so I want to say congratulations. Thank you, Mayor Adams. Thank you, Commissioner Cumbo, for this historic level of funding for all of our cultural organizations. And as your borough president, number 14, I look forward to working with you to open the doors to celebrate hip-hop 50th anniversary coming 2023, y'all. Thank you, everyone, and congratulations.
Always and forever brilliant. When I'm in Brooklyn, you know, it's one thing, but I see I'm very outnumbered here. They got They got signs and colors and numbers. I just fall back, and addresses. They got street addresses, so I'm going to just let y'all have that. Now, we have a very important figure in all of this. Our previous, but forever, once an elected, you're always elected. And Ruben Diaz's love of the Bronx is forever. And he was texting me last night how he was going to get on the mic and spit some bars today, and that our mayor better be prepared. So he did his thing. Now we're going to hear what Ruben Diaz has to say. But this man is beloved all throughout the Bronx and beyond. Because of his commitment, it's so genuine, it's so real. His love for this museum. I told him he's not even going to be able to spit bars the way he used to, because now he's out of office, he's taking vacations, he's eating well, going to islands I don't even know about. He's living very comfortably right now. So I said, it starts to go away a little bit after you've gotten a little comfortable. So I said, I know last night you were in your room with the chains and the Kango on trying to write your verses in the Kango, but I know it's going to sound a little different right now because you're a little bit more comfortable. But I love this man. He's been an extraordinary leader, has done tremendous work for the Bronx. The Bronx will always be a better place because he has served. Put your hands together for number 13, Ruben Diaz Jr.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good morning, everyone. I just want to say that, first of all, you can judge the intellect and the commitment of a leader based on who they have around them. And when you look at Mayor Adams, and the fact that he has Commissioner Lori Cumbo with him, he has Deputy Mayor Sheena Wright with him, and so many other who have a wonderful team, it just shows that the mayor is somebody who's strong, somebody who's for us, who has been there for us and will continue to be there for us. And just to quote a philosopher who's no longer with us, Fife Dog, Mr. Adam, would you please be my mayor? You'd be doing us a really big favor. Boy, let's give it up for Mayor Adams. Here in the Boogie Down Bronx, God's country, the borough president, we refer to ourselves in numbers. And number 14 said it great. She said that when you look at all of the cultural institutions, they're an economic engine. The Bronx has always been a cauldron bubbling with cultural alchemy. If you look, we are the cradle of salsa. We're the birthplace of doo-wop. We're the birthplace of hip-hop. And I know that there's bantering going on, but let me just tell you guys something like this. Look, we just lost a great basketball legend in Russell, Bill Russell. You can't get to Jordan, you can't get to LeBron James without going to Bill Russell first. And so just consider the Bronx in terms of hip-hop as the Bill Russell. But yes, we have Jay-Z, and yes, we had Run DMC, and by the way, we have DMC with us in the building today. And we have so many others from all over the world now. And when you look at the cultural institutions, it's about what it means to an individual. You have all, especially those of you who are up there in age, you've been informed by your experiences. You've been informed by the jobs that you had when you were younger. Think about how many people have done great things who worked at the Botanical Garden when they were teenagers.
That's right. Yeah.
Or the Bronx Zoo.
Yeah.
Think about people like Fernando Mateo, who owns Zona de Cuba right up the block, and how he was informed as a young man, and now he's a big businessman.
That's right.
And to be here in the Bronx, Mr. Mayor, today, with all of the culture that's going on in all the institutions and your big announcement of $200 million and doing it right here as a board member of the Board of Trustees of the Universal Hip Hop Museum, of course, our leader in Rocky Buchanan, and all of the members that are here today, we thank you for choosing this location because hip hop has informed us. When I was 10 years old, I was telling DMC, no disrespect to him, I bought my first record, it was Rockbox, Russell. And Rockbox was something that I pumped And when I walk a certain way and speak a certain way and dance a certain way, that's because hip hop has informed me as an individual.
That's right.
My name is Joseph Simmons, but my middle name is Lloyd. When I'm rocking on the mic, you should all applaud because we're wheeling, dealing. We got a funny feeling. We rock the floor up to the ceiling. When Eric B. was running for president, when I came through the door, I said it before, I never let the mic magnetize me no more. I lost my mind.
Can't hold it back.
When I saw a white rapper in Pete Nice, who's right there with us today. When you speak of allies, our communities and other communities, and I heard a white man said, black cats are bad luck. Bad guys wear black. It must have been a white guy who started all that. Here's the gas face for all those little white lies. They always try to demonize us. And it was a white man rapping on the mic saying that we should not succumb to those negative stereotypes of black and brown people in our communities. Lies that were created by white men. A white guy, Pete Knight, he's right there. Give him a round of applause. This is what hip hop is. This is what culture is. This is what we're celebrating here today. And I'm just so happy that this guy right here was able to put hip hop on the map all over the world. If hip hop is, and it is, the #1 genre in the planet today, is because of a vision that Russell Simmons had so many years ago with his brother, with DMC, with Jam Master Jay, with Rick Rubin, and so many others, and LL Cool J, and here we are today. God bless you all, and the best is yet to come.
Yes.
Man, if someone could tell the story of how each and every person here got to this place right now, the story of our parents, of our grandparents, the blood, sweat, and tears, the 9-to-5 jobs, the 2 and 3 jobs, the latchkey kids, all of those stories, if they could ever come together, it's going to happen here at this museum. I want to bring up at this time, this can't happen without state representatives as well. So I want to acknowledge our state representatives. They're going to come to the mic, and then we're going to close out with Russell Simmons, because we need a little Queens energy up in here right now. I was looking for Brooklyn, and I grabbed Russell real quick. Because when I told Rocky, I said, can you bring out some celebrities? I didn't think he was going to go out and bring out Russell Simmons, right? So we are so proud and honored to have all of the hip-hop pioneers that are here today. I'm going to bring up Senator Jose Serrano, and he will be followed by Assemblymember Chantel Jackson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Commissioner, thank you to everyone for inviting me here today. This is so special. In the Senate, I have the good fortune of chairing the Committee on Cultural Affairs and Tourism.
Wow.
And this is a shining example of why the arts and culture are so important to New York and to the world. Very few things have the ability to unite us the way that the arts and culture can. They allow us to deal with thorny issues and foster discussion and find a path to social justice in different ways. The arts and artists have historically been the courageous ones to foster those conversations in ways that no one else can. And that brings about a better society. And that's why I'm so passionate about the arts. That's why all of us are, because we know it's so much more than an aesthetic. This is really about building peace, building deeper understanding, and building unity.
That's right.
And this community here in the Bronx, and our borough president said it so well, our former borough president as well, thank you, for being such an important cheerleader of the years of artistic innovation in the borough of the Bronx. We have so much that we can be proud of. And as a person who's fortunate enough to live in this neighborhood and seeing how the arts are the foundation of the rebirth of the South Bronx, I think it's so fitting and so wonderful that this museum is here. And I'm thankful to all involved who are making this a reality and supporting all of the artistic and cultural organizations throughout the borough of the Bronx. Thank you so much.
All right, so I just have to tell our commissioner, if it wasn't for the Bronx, I am your Assembly Member Chantel Jackson. I am birthed through hip hop, and you know, if it wasn't for the Queen Latifahs of the world, the Little Kims of the world, the Nicki Minaj's of the world, the Cardi B's of the world, we would not be here. Like, those artists got me through my hardest moments. Those artists pushed me through school. They pushed me through getting elected. Like, we played a lot of Nothing Can Stop Me, I'm all the way up. Like, we did a lot of that. Hip hop is a part of us. It is us. And I'm so grateful to the state. You know, first of all, you have to have people that look like us to vouch for us, right? I'm so grateful for the state for putting millions of dollars into this project, but I'm also thankful for our mayor, our hip hop mayor, for also seeing it fitting to put more money into this. My children are going to come to this museum, and they're going to learn about artists that they never heard of. They're going to hear songs that they thought the artists they love created, that beat that they thought their artists created. And they're going to realize, no. It started way before you got here. So I just want to say thank you. And I just want to get off of here. And what are we doing next?
I'm going to introduce.
Oh, boom. My commissioner got it. Thank you.
That is so true. Brooklyn versus everybody. I'm comfortable in my own skin. It's fine. My mayor's from Brooklyn, so I know somebody's got my back real big here. So we're going to just close out, as I said, but I just want to give you a snapshot of funding. The Universal Hip Hop Museum is receiving a total of city funding of $19.8 million. The Bronx Museum of the Arts is receiving a total of $26.7 million. Pregones Puerto Rican Traveling Theater is receiving a total of $11.2 million. Wave Hill is receiving a total of $2.9 million. The New York Botanic Garden is receiving a total of city funding of $12.7 million. The Bronx will be left behind no more in this administration. I want to close out and just thank everyone for coming here today. This is an inspirational day and a story that our children deserve. They deserve to hear good stories. They deserve to hear the good about what's coming out of the Bronx. And with that, I'm going to close with Russell Simmons. Thank you all so much. God bless you all. Can't wait for the, thank you. I can't wait to be here for the ribbon cutting. It's going to be the biggest thing you have ever seen in New York City. Did you see how people waited online round the corners for a Biggie Smalls Metro card? Wait till this museum opens. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands for our pioneer, Russell Simmons!
Thank you. I'm honored, humbled, and all the adjectives to be here. I can't speak without Eric B. standing here, and Rocky, please stand here. DMC, of course, come stand next to me, and all the artists, but especially I'd like to have my brother, Grand Wizard Theodore. And, you know, for me, I'll tell you a quick story. There was a young rapper who was on Def Jam, and he was 14, he got shot in the leg. He was selling drugs in the wrong place. So I met him, and I took him in, and I raised him, and I remember there was a moment where he was writing songs, because he's on a label, and he had this great future, and he said he didn't even know Sucker MCs, and ended up getting lost to the prison system for 25 years. That was my son, and I called him my son, and he's still in prison. I'm fighting to get him out now. But he didn't know Sucker MCs, and the reason I'm so excited about this museum is had he known Sucker MCs and internalized those lyrics, maybe it could have helped him. But all of us needed to have a clear picture of our history. And the history of hip hop is not recorded that well. We all know the billionaires. We know Kanye, and we'll certainly celebrate Kanye and Drake and all the big success stories. But we forget many of the artists. And I'm most concerned with the artists who, before they were recorded records, they were performing artists. And those great performing artists started in Harlem and the Bronx. Bronx and Harlem. And I want to see them celebrated and compensated. And I think that if we celebrate them properly, then their words and their stories and their history will be told properly, because we forget and lose history to his stories. And I think that we're getting a lot of that already, even though there are people walking around in the Bronx and Harlem who are 68, 70, who can tell you the story of Grand Wizard Theodore. And I want to make sure that we tell those stories. So that's why I'm very excited about this, that the history of hip hop will be told properly. And that's, for me, a great contribution. And for me, that's my purpose here. So thank you all. And everything else has been said. But thank you all for being here. And I'm really thankful to the mayor and to all the politicians and the people who had the money who helped Rocky realize this vision. Thank you.